soy Sexy Star.
Sexy Star has earned the respect and adoration of the believers here in the temple.
We are soon going to talk about Sexy Star, the once great wrestler that has fallen to obscurity and is banned for wrestling. We'll talk more about the locker room. Stay tuned.
I'm tired of being humble. I'm tired of letting people think they got a chance. The tribal chief is head and shoulders above everybody.
Hey guys, we're here at the locker room. It's Toxic Ring Scandal, aka KDH. Today we'll talk about why Sexy Star ruined her wrestling career, why Sexy Star is banned from wrestling. Let's get the lights as we come to the locker room. About to air some dirty laundry on this one. Now, we thought the most controversial star for the women's was Tessa Blanchard, who recently just got back into TNA, known as Total Nonstop Action. But boy, was I wrong. Someone has Tessa beat. Now, this woman here, Sexy Star, she is from Lucha Underground. They had a few seasons. They used to air, if you guys are familiar with that. These are some of the people that was on Lucha Underground. I know Ricochet was on there. I know Chavo Guerrero was another one. And I believe Swerve Strickland was on there too at one point. But this is here about Sexy Star. She was the Lucha Underground. She won the men's championship over there. And she was the first woman, I believe, only woman to do it. But let's take a look at her career accomplishments here. As follows, she was the AAA ranked championship. She had all these championships. She had the Lucha Underground championship. She definitely was a great performer over there at Lucha Libre. Now, I know she performed at TripleMania, which we will talk about in a second. Here's a little bit more of her accomplishments here. She also won Mas Lucha, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, The Crash. She had a good resume here at the time. Now, I heard she was slated to be in a major wrestling promotion like WWE, TNA, or maybe even AEW. But at TripleMania 25 back in 2017, she had defended her championship, the Lucha Underground Championship, against Rosemary. And what we thought would be a regular match at the time, it went wrong. Now, at this match here, she did retain the Lucha Underground Championship. However, she had put in a lock bar at the time that tapped out because, like I said, her winning championship was a great moment for her career. But her locking the armbar in and not letting go was definitely a bad moment there. But we'll see how she won the championship here. Now, they said that she had been accused of deliberately injuring a fellow wrestler during the AAA TripleMania 25 event in Mexico City, in Mexico over the weekend. Now, it was a fight for a four-way women's match at Reina de Reinas Championship between Sexy Star Rosemary, Ayako, Hamada, and Lady Shani. Now, said according to the PWInsider, the feud began between Sexy Star and Lady Shani, who both started to shoot, of course, going off script, and never to injure each other. While Rosemary was initially involved in the exchange, Rosemary reportedly believed each wrestler was going after her and popped Rosemary's arm out of place during an armbar submission, in which I will show in a second here. Man, this is nasty work. Cody Rhodes sent a tweet saying Sexy Star would never set foot in one of my locker rooms. I hope others will follow suit. Now, of course, this was way before AEW back in 2017. AEW started in 2019. Now, he's not the only one to tweet about the situation on this incident. Another person that did tweet was Road Dogg Jesse James. He said they really injured Rosemary, just wondering, so she could work in nowhere near me. Now, a lot of people was upset about what Sexy Star did to Rosemary, locking that armbar in. Also, others have spoke about it too. We have this person here says she purposely broke Rosemary arm in a match last night. Hashtag F Sexy Star. Another person here on social media, they also commented saying, I hope no one gives her any chances and her wrestling career ends before she hurts someone else. So this is not a good look for Sexy Star. Like I said, she was very prominent on the indie scene. But since that incident happened, she has really ruined her name. She's banned from wrestling. Now, we've heard of wrestlers getting banned from kicked out of one company, can't come back. But normally another company will take them in. But Sexy Star is the exception to the rule due to what she did. She legit put an arm break on Rosemary, popped the arm out. Could have did a lot more damage to her arm. She's out of all wrestling, not just over in Lucha Libre in Mexico, in the States as well. No company will take her on. Have you noticed she has not wrestled since 2017? So this is really, really nasty what she did. Now, there's others that's going to speak about it. You got Tyra Valkyrie, Joaquin Wilde, and others will speak about it in a moment. We'll check it out.
Is a little older, but what were your feelings about how that went down, and have you spoken to either of them about that situation since it did go down?
Yeah, this happened last August. I think I've been pretty. I said what I had to say when it first happened. I had worked with, wrestled with Rosemary about 2 weeks before that went down, and that was my first experience with her in a ring, and she's nothing but class. And so when that happened, I was very. This was like I've said. I was just really disappointed. We're trying to make strides in women's wrestling, and sometimes I think we're each other's worst enemies. Sometimes, it was just a really shitty situation that was, I don't ever want to see anybody get hurt in that way. We're athletes, and we need each other as dance partners. I can't wrestle by myself. Rosemary can't wrestle by herself. Sexy Star can't wrestle by herself. So we have to have a level of trust in each other that's so huge to just even get in the ring and face one another. So I just felt really disappointed, and obviously I've spoken to Rosemary since then. I have not spoken to Sexy Star at all. But I think everyone's moved forward from that, and I think that we just have to remember that we don't want that to happen again, and no one ever wants to see someone that's, get hurt like that. It's not cool. That's pretty much all I can say about it.
Match was right before my match. So as I was getting ready to come through the curtain, I saw Rosemary walk past very aggressively. There wasn't like smiles and good vibes. She walked past me looking pretty angry, and Andrew Everett, my tag team partner, is actually her boyfriend, and he seemed pretty concerned by her reaction as well, because he wanted to congratulate her on a great match, a great performance, and she was not having any of it. She walked past him, walked past me, went straight to the locker room, so I knew there was a problem. When I got backstage after my match, there was a lot of tension in the room. Global Force Wrestling officials, AAA officials, a bit of a shouting, screaming match, and I wasn't sure what was going on, what the problem was, but as I saw Rosemary holding her arm with an ice pack, I figured whatever they're screaming about must have something to do with Rosemary. And yeah, apparently Sexy Star went into business for herself, applied a cross arm breaker legit to Rosemary, hyperextended her elbow, and injured her for no reason. I talked to Rosemary before the match. She told me nothing about any issues with Sexy Star, so I can't understand why Sexy Star would target Rosemary and go out of her way to injure her intentionally. Wrestling's weird sometimes. I hear there's a lot of egos and drama with the girls down in Mexico, so who knows what was going through Sexy Star's mind in that moment, but straight up, it was wrong. It had no place in wrestling. She should not have done that. We're trusting each other with our bodies, and she's not expecting that Sexy Star is going to legitimately torque on that arm breaker, that arm bar. So she's not protecting herself the same way she would have in MMA. She's giving her the arm. So for her to then try to legitimately injure her, it's wrong on so many levels. That type of behavior has no place in wrestling, especially in 2017 where we have social media and people can speak their minds and voice their opinions. So it was great to see the wrestling community rally behind Rosemary, take her side, and let everyone know that Sexy Star's actions will not be tolerated and will not be accepted in 2017 in pro wrestling. So, as you can see, now she's getting blackballed, she's getting pulled from certain events, Karma, man, you can't act like that in wrestling
The
anymore.
log later this week to go in depth because I understand Disco only gives me a few minutes here, and we've got a lot to talk about match by match with TripleMania. So for Monkey on a Cupcake members over at Patreon, end of this week you're going to get an exclusive in-depth TripleMania review. But let's touch on the highlights real quick. For those that watched it, Conan, what were your overall thoughts before I get into some questions that the fans wrote in?
Stop it. Right off the bat, I want to what exactly went down? What are you getting with the sexy star thing and the Rosemary thing? I want to get in that right away. Or start this off hot. What happened? What led up to it? What happened after?
I'll let Conan take that one.
Yeah, because Conan, you've not spoken on this yet, have you? And made no comments on Twitter or anything. This is the first time we're hearing your opinion of what Sexy Star did to Rosemary. And Sexy Star is your girl. And as a matter of fact, I think if we went back and on the archives of this show, there was actually, I think KG too, weren't you guys actually bringing up whether or not that she's a Hall of Famer or something like that?
I brought it up, but Conan stated that I was incorrect. I was, and in hindsight, I was completely incorrect because the Lucha Underground presentation and booking of her influenced my statements. The way she's presented there is different from the way she's presented overall in Mexico, or the way she's received.
Just to correct me here, isn't she kind of like a shooter too? Doesn't she fight her boxers or something like that?
Yeah, she's had one boxing match, and her husband's an ex-world champion boxer.
Okay, all right. So, that being said, she's a shooter, and she shot on Rosemary, totally unnecessary. After the match, after she topped out, cranked it in, dislocated her elbow, correct?
Right. So
okay, let's see what happens.
The backstory here is that, especially in Mexico, the girls are very, very jealous of each other. They're very catty. Bro, you can have 5 girls and 50 guys, and those 5 girls will bring you twice the drama that the guys ever will. So, there'd already been heat between Fabi and Sexy, even though Fabi wasn't in that match. Taya, when she was there, had heat with Fabi, had heat with Sexy, and now the girls that wrestled that night, Shani had heat with Sexy. So they went in there, and as you saw, they were potatoes.
Who's Shani? Is Shani Rosemary?
No.
Rosemary. Shani wrestles for AAA.
It's Hughes. Hello.
Shani wrestles for AAA. Rosemary,
there
obviously.
There were 4 girls in the match, Disco.
Okay, 4 girls in the match. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
And no one had any heat with Hamada, or was she involved too?
Well, Hamada was roughing Sexy up too. So I don't know if Sexy said something before the match, or I don't know. I didn't know of any heat that they had from before. So, she clocked her with the top of that garbage can, and then when Sexy tried to hit her back, she put her arms in the way, and they basically beat her up. And I think that Sexy came back in, and she took it out on the wrong person, because I never saw Rosemary, taking liberties with her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So she has tremendous heat right now.
Yeah.
I've never
seen. So she got unbooked.
Wait, that's all you're going to say? I want to hear your opinion.
Bro, she shouldn't have done it. What do you want me to say? She shouldn't have done it. She was wrong.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think? Let me ask you a question. If you were running that show and she did that, what would you have
done? Definitely fined her and suspended her publicly.
Mm-hmm. How much did you fine her?
I don't know, bro, but I don't know right now what it would be. But that definitely would happen because if you don't do that, it's like the company's condoning this. You know what I'm saying?
That was the interviews that everyone spoke about the situation. Tyra Valkyrie said she has spoken to Sexy Star. She has spoken to Rosemary. Joaquin Wilde, he was known as another name at the time. He spoke about it, how Rosemary was upset backstage. And, of course, keeping it 100 with Conan, he spoke about it. So this is, like I said, this really, really hurt this woman's credibility. And the result is she being banned from wrestling. And I know also Chris Jericho, he went on his podcast. He also said that he never met Sexy Star, but if he did, he don't want to meet her. And she's also banned from his podcast. So this is really crazy. Now, since she has been banned from wrestling, she has started a career, I believe, in boxer, MMA, or boxing. She has started a different whole career change pretty much. Now, I know her husband, he is an as Conan stated in the podcast, an ex-world champion of boxing. So that's what she's been doing since then. But this is crazy. I never even heard about this woman till recently, of how she was a solid, very good wrestler all around. And then one incident at TripleMania changed her whole life. Not for the good either. But other than that, though, that's all I have for why Sexy Star ruined her wrestling career. We are talking about why Sexy Star is banned from pro wrestling. You guys let me know. Have you heard about this story? Do you remember when it happened? Or this is your first time hearing about it? I would love to hear your comment section below regarding this whole incident of Sexy Star legit breaking Rosemary's arm. Check out the content here at Toss the Ring Scandal, aka KDH. Until then, you already know what it is. It's OUT.